Aloha and welcome. In this lesson, we're going to be talking about arbitrary argument lists. So in Python, sometimes when you're calling on a function, you don't know how many arguments you want to send. A good example of this is, let's say you're going to be creating a sandwich and you don't know how many types of things you want to put in there. So you can't define them all out in your parameter list. So Python allows you to add in an arbitrary number of parameters. So it uses two different things. One is the star args parameter, and that's going to let you send in an arbitrary argument list in a tuple. And then you also have the what we call the kwargs, the keyword arguments parameter, and that's asterisk, 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 kwargs. That's the convention. People use args and kwargs, but you can actually use anything you want there. And I'll show you an example of that. So let's go ahead and pull up our handy dandy VS Code. So over here, I've got an example, and that example is the aforementioned make sandwich program. So we have the bread type, which is going to be our basically only one that we know for sure that we're going to have. We may have a big nothing sandwich, but we're going to have bread for it at least. So then we're going to have the optional stuff here. This is the one that I was talking about, the asterisk args. And I said that you could name it anything. Well, I'm naming it optional stuff here. But sometimes you'll see people just use the args. It's a standard naming convention, but I'm just being unconventional here. So all this function does is it prints out, we will use, and it says bread for the bread type for the bread. And then it's going to loop through that tuple that we sent in. That tuple is the optional stuff. So we're going to go in a for loop here. We're going to say for ingredient in the optional stuff, and we're going to print slap on, then the name of the item that we sent in. And this could be 0 elements that we send in through optional stuff, or it could be 100. It doesn't matter. But you get to define all of that here inside your make sandwich. Because we use this one thing in our parameters, this catch-all for parameters, we can put as many things in here as we want in the actual arguments. So we'll go ahead and run this and take a look. And we get, we'll use the wheat bread, which is what we supplied here. And we've got mayo, cheese, and oil. So it loops through that tuple. It says slap on the mayo, slap on the cheese, slap on the oil. So that is how we use this singular catch-all. We also have the ability to use named keyword arguments. So let's go take a look at that here. So I'm going to uncomment this. So the way this works is, you see we have a double asterisk, and this is usually kwargs. They like to use kwargs in here, but I want to make it look a little bit more interesting to our definition here. So I'm just going to call it optional stuff. So we're making a kwarg sandwich here, keyword argument sandwich. So we start with our bread type, and then we're going to say, hey, don't know how many we're going to have, but we're going to allow you to send in both the key and the value pair for it. So you're going to send in a dictionary basically here. And I want to show you that it's a dictionary by printing the type of the optional stuff here. And then we're going to loop through that optional stuff. And for each one in there, when we do a loop through it, through a dictionary, when we say item, that item variable, the loop variable here, is going to be set to the key for each one. So if we say like here, cheese equals American, item will be cheese, then item will be sauce, then item will be oil. So it'll take on the keyword each, or the key each time, and then the value for it, which will be gotten through optional stuff of the keyword, that's going to give us the value here, the American, the mayo, the olive. So let's go ahead and run that. And you see that it says, first of all, right here, it's a class dictionary. So this right here, the optional stuff, it's a dictionary that's coming in. We do name it here, not as a dictionary. We're actually sending in independent keyword argument kwargs basically, but it's taking them and it's it's putting them into a dictionary that's fed to here. So then we work on it as if it's a dictionary, which it is. So here it says it's a dictionary. We say, first of all, we'll use rye bread, and then we go in here and we say our cheese. So cheese is the key value, or the keyword, not keyword, it's the key. And then American is the item in there. And then our next one is sauce and mayo, and then oil and olive. So that's how you use the keyword argument pair. So now let's take a look over here at our last example. So here we have an example of how you can combine both your positional or your catch-all with your keyword argument catch-all. So when you're doing this, if you're going to use both of them together, you have to use it in the order of your catch-all first and then your keyword argument catch-all after that. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So here, what we're doing is we're doing a simple print just like before for our bread type. And then we're going to print the type of optional stuff just to show you what that value is. And we know that's a dictionary because we saw that a little while ago. And then we're going to print out the type of customers. And customers should come through here as a tuple. So let me go ahead and clear out our screen here. And then also we're going to loop through the tuple that is customers. We're going to print them out one by one. And then we're going to go through each item in optional stuff, which is a dictionary. So we're going to use the keyword here, and then we're going to get the value by saying the dictionary at the item, and that'll give us each one of the values that we have. So let's go ahead and run that, and we see that sure enough, class dictionary, class tuple, and it's looping through the customers, the tuple, and saying for Bob, for John, and then we're going to start going through our optional keyword arguments here, and that's oil, which is olive, and cheese, which is feta. So this is how this works. If you're going to combine the two together, you'll want to make sure that the catch-all, the args, the asterisk args comes first, and then your double asterisks kwargs comes second. So don't mix that up. Don't put those out of order. And that's how you use these. So in this lesson, we've gone through arbitrary argument lists. We've seen the first one, which allows you to put an indefinite number of arguments in there. And then we have the second one, which allows you to do the same thing, but name them. So you'll have a key and an argument, or yes, a key and a value pair for each of those. It comes through as a dictionary. So again, if you have any questions about this, feel free to reach out to me, send me an email. You can send me an email and say, hey, I'd like to get together and talk about this. I'll be happy to set up a Zoom meeting with you. So hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you in the next lesson.